We are heading into overtime on 1620 The Zone. Shock the system. Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone, the 1620 The Zone app, and 1620thezone.com. When 6A to 6P isn't enough, the boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiner.
Jimmy Allen. John Schreiner is not here with us. They can catch him on ESPN Plus for the Creighton volleyball game tonight. Dan Kapanen is sitting right there. I'm staring right at him. It's been 2 weeks. Dan, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, too.
Belated happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. Bob Williams of Williams Law is going to join us tonight and discuss the future of virtual reality and technology in sports. What does that hold for us? We'll discuss at 6:15. Creighton, they've got some issues. They've got some upside. It's also I-80 rivalry week. We'll talk about that at 6:30. We'll find out what's trending on social media and buy or sell at the top of the hour. We'll discuss the National Football League. Dan, are the Patriots the good? We're going to debate it at 7:15. And then the college football playoff. Is it more of a mess than it deserves to be? We'll talk about that at 7:30 as well. You can get a hold of the show, 402-951-1620. You can also tweet at us at After Hours 1620 on Twitter as well. You cannot get a hold of me because I've fallen victim to hacking. Don't tweet at Jimmy Allen 1620 tonight.
Congrats on the Bitcoin.
Because he's not going to be responding to you. We got a lot to discuss because we've been gone for a while. But I want to talk about the Iowa game and how Nebraska's defense fell apart. Specifically, the comments made by the head football coach following the game and in the last couple of weeks, because obviously Nebraska has moved on from the defensive coordinator. John Butler has been relieved of his duties. Phil Snow will be coaching the bowl game on the defensive side of things, assisted by Mike Eckler. But Matt Rhule made some comments about John Butler's demeanor and some things that he was doing on the sidelines of the Iowa game, the way the game was coached, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That brings me to the question: at what point does Matt Rhule stop getting a pass? Because we talked about this 2 weeks ago, Dan, when the comments were made about Dana Holgorsen and the offensive play calling and the ability or inability to run the football in certain situations and the rhythm of the offense. Now, John Butler's demeanor and the way he was conducting his business is the reason that he's allegedly been replaced as the defensive coordinator. But do we forget that Matt Rhule hired both of these guys and that Matt Rhule has the ability to step in and change those decisions that are being made on the sideline? Because he has taken the CEO approach, which for a long time this fan base has asked for. We want a guy at the top of the program that's going to be making the decisions and running the organization and running the company. The problem is you're getting the same exact results. And I don't think you get to pass the buck as the head man to guys that you've hired.
So the comment that I think everyone has sunk their hooks into and that has interested me the most, so I am a hook sinker in general, is this weird fact that in his press conference this week, Matt Rhule said, I don't ever want to hear people blaming the players on the field who are in the program. And then he proceeds to say the players didn't play all that well, which was interesting. It's probably the reason that John Butler got let go, is kind of been the popular sentiment.
Yeah, and Steve Sipple said as much on Unsportsmanlike Conduct yesterday. So, that's basically been all but confirmed. But this kind of seems to be what Matt Rhule does, is he says what we want to hear. And he's really good at that. He's really dialed in. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for the head coach, because there always has to be coach speak. You have to, people exactly that statement. He's not going to deal with people blaming the players, etc. But there are probably certain players, and everybody wants to have that tough-nosed head coach you can run through a wall for. And he's going to tell you how it is all the time. You have to manage 100+ personalities as a head coach.
Yeah.
And you've got to know which coaches can take those, which players and coaches could take those butt rippings, and the ones that you probably need to finesse a little bit more too. Because if you want to get max value out of them, you have to know how to manage those personalities.
But I don't know. It does feel weird because it feels like before the season especially, we heard year 3 Matt Rhule, year 3 Matt Rhule, year 3 Matt Rhule. And then we didn't get the same year 3 bump that everyone else did.
Can argue you got the same exact results.
And I don't know if I would say the exact same results. We were 6-6 last year at this point in time.
Sure.
And we're probably going to end up being 8-5.
Ooh, okay.
If the prognostication is correct about us going to the Las Vegas Bowl and playing Utah. That's neither here nor there at this point, but
you have Nebraska beating Utah.
I said 8-5.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, that'd be
7-6.
That'd be a win. A win would be 8-5.
I did a bunch of math earlier.
Yeah, actually, it'd be 8-4. You know what? You're good.
But,
keep going. Yeah, it's. I have that as a loss. By the way.
Yes, I shout out to Dampier. I just don't know. The rope that we give to Matt Rule has been
seems to be a lot, right?
Has been sufficiently lengthened, and I like that he plays the CEO role, but it's like you can't be a good CEO without having the management tree underneath you all doing their job correctly.
Right.
And I mean, we did put Butler a little bit behind the 8 ball in just the simple fact that we gave him the keys to the defense and said, here you go. By the way, you're not going to have our 2 biggest probably stoppers from last year up front anymore. So you're going to have to deal with that, unfortunately. But it never seemed like the scheme was appropriate for the guys that we had. I was a little bit surprised that you had a linebacker in Dasan McCullough, who you weren't just saying, hey,
run free,
go out there and just rip someone's head off every game. We don't worry about coverage. Don't worry about any of that. We've got one of the greatest passing defenses in the country right now. If you can get to the quarterback, that's going to help them even more. And the lack of pressure, the lack of kind of quality up on the line and the quality kind of winning that we could do, it just didn't seem to be there.
So that's the thing that I've heard the most is, well, it's the 4-3 or the 3-3-5 and not the 4-3, and the scheme was wrong. Scheme doesn't have anything to do with the way you line up and communicate around the football.
Yeah.
And that was Nebraska's biggest problem. They could not line up correctly to save their lives. And you would see teams run hurry up and run the exact same play, just the opposite direction, because they saw where Nebraska was lining up and knew they couldn't adjust, and the defense would break down. But the other conversation that I think is worth having is all of the problems that we highlighted, and not just us, but the majority of the fan base before the season started, were exactly what you just said, with the lack of Nash and Ty, and what does it look like without 2 guys of that caliber, of that stature, of that experience level in this defense. John Butler's 1 year of calling a defense experience and what that would look like, what the problem or who the guy was going to be behind Emmett Johnson, who now you really got to figure out because he's gone to the NFL, and how you would be able to rotate in that defensive background. Also, did you get the offensive line issues figured out? We still don't know the answer to any of those questions, and they played a full schedule.
I think we know the answer to the offensive line question, though.
You feel better about Nebraska's offensive line now than you did at the beginning of the season?
Oh, no. You asked if the question was answered.
Oh, yeah.
And the answer is no.
Right, which is the problem, right? Like, that's the answer you didn't want.
It's like,
we know the answer to all those questions.
Yeah, I was going to say, the middle 3, center and both guards, A+.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Well, the grade averages out because I'm giving them a G at tackle.
Okay.
And it goes down to a full D grade for the offensive line.
Yeah,
it's not good.
But that is my biggest problem. Listen, I'm not trying to moonlight as a head coach or an offensive coordinator or say that I know more about football than Matt Rule or anybody. My question is, if it's me as a guy just sitting in a chair in Omaha, Nebraska, can go, well, Dante Dowdell left. Who's going to be running back number 2? And you tell me you like Quentin Ives, and you move Isaiah Mosey to running back because you feel like he can adapt. And I think I saw some really good things from him. But there's so many guys that were unknowns that you've told. Matt Rule came out before the spring and said, we feel really good about these guys. Nothing showed me that they were at the level, or maybe even one step behind a Dante Dowdell from a year ago. Now, listen, I'm not saying that Dante Dowdell was the answer, but you had guys like Marty Brown that was transferring from North Dakota down to Miami, and then there was guys you could have gotten in on. You could have tried something in the portal or just gotten a body that would have maybe been a little further along in development in the college football game than the guys that you had behind him. I still think there's room for Quentin Ives and those guys to be decent football players. They just clearly weren't ready this season. And it was that was the number one question. Everybody that's a talking head on the radio or around the Nebraska football program or the 90,000 head coaches that sit in the stands every single Saturday was who was going to be running back number 2. I sat in this chair and asked John Schreiner, what are you more worried about? Dylan going down or Emmett going down? And if it's not an instant reaction, your quarterback, that's a concern because that tells you that there's a lack of depth. There's lack of attention in that position. Now, we all know the running back position has been devalued to the maximum at this point, but we saw, unfortunately, we got the answer to that question, right? Because it's clearly Emmett Johnson. We saw Dylan Raiola go down. Nebraska was able to go out to UCLA and get away. Now, you could point out TJ Latif's shortcomings against Iowa and Penn State, and I'll hear that, but it would have been really scary to think of what this team would have looked like without Emmett Johnson this season, even with a healthy Dylan Raiola for all 12 games.
I think the scarier thing just in general from a 10,000 foot, we're done with the regular season portion of this whole thing to me is TJ looked bad in the last 2 games, but that learning curve going from UCLA that, if we're going to be honest, is his first real team, quote unquote, that he played.
Sure.
But is a true patty cake kind of matchup where they're not throwing the craziest stuff and they're not the best up front on defense, similar to us. It's the fact that you go to Penn State, who by the end of the season could have been penciled in as a win. And then you can't beat Iowa whatsoever. You can't.
Think about what you said about Penn State 2 seconds ago and then the outcome of that game.
Yes.
Penn State dominated that game to the point that it almost convinced the Penn State fan base that their interim head coach should take over for James Franklin. Now, lucky enough for them, probably, and sounds like they're going to get Matt Campbell, is that Nebraska didn't do a good enough job of convincing the Penn State brass that was a good enough job. I'm listen, and this is why I was adamant that I didn't think there was any chance Matt Rule was getting offered the Penn State job, and I still believe that. But if you're out there in Husker land and you're concerned, and more importantly, you have the same exact concerns before you had before the season started, I think that makes you really wary about what next year is going to look like, especially if Dylan Raiola's gone, especially if Emmett Johnson's gone. We know Emmett's gone for sure.
Yes. Can we get to the Dylan of it all real quick though?
You know what? Let's kick basketball to the second hour. Let's talk to Bob Williams. We'll get his thoughts on what's going on in the college football world as well, and then we'll talk about the Dylan Raiola of it all when we come back. If you missed the opening segment tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. From Nebraska neighborhoods across the state, it's clear there is no place like Nebraska. Just like so many of us, Aloe calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, Aloe is bringing families together connection by connection. Head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio tonight. Sign up for services that are the official provider of the Huskers themselves. Head over to aloefiber.com/Husker Radio tonight. Bob Williams, the Williams Law, joins us. We come back, 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. You know,
but there doesn't appear to be any
you need to get to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. That special guy in your life. Maybe you want to get
implications or
Creighton polo. Maybe you want to get him a Husker polo for when they head out to Pinnacle Bank this weekend.
I actually
take on
contacted the DMV about this.
Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th Dodge. You're not going to want to miss
I've had the other one I had.
John Dan and the crew have going on. Stop by 78th and Dodge. Jerry Ryan's been dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Board Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Well, it feels pretty nice outside, at least better than we've been the past couple days. Highs on Friday have been in the mid and low 40s. This evening will cool off into the 30s and overnight into the lower 20s. Your Saturday's an interesting day. It will start off mostly dry, but in the afternoon, a rain-snow mix. Higher chances for snow accumulation north and east of Omaha with high temperatures in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with the trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it, they have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
Roof.com, never settle for less.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AX Free Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Hey, we're here for Underdog Fantasy, and as the weather cools down, the push for the playoff is heating up, and that's why it's the perfect time for you to get in on Underdog, where you can make picks and win money right now in Nebraska. It's so easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. You get those picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. In the final stretch of the football season, the games continue to get bigger. So take your player and will it into existence. Take those hires on touchdowns, rushing yards, receiving yards, or anything in between. So download the app today, sign up with promo code HAPPER1620, and score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, big picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Wouldn't it be great if life gave you control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
On a Friday night here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date with all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Keep up to date on Lucas Gabriel's undefeated men's basketball team at BUBruins.com as well. Bob Williams Law now joins us here on After Hours. Bob, good evening. How are you?
Guys, great to be here. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, Bob, go ahead and drop off the stream and come back in because you're way over modulated. We're going to have to get that figured out. Sorry. Go ahead and leave the studio and then come back in. Let's see if we can get that fixed. Obviously, hold on. I think we might have it fixed.
I got him turned down.
Okay.
I got him turned down.
Bob, you got us here?
Yeah, you got me, guys. Sorry
All right,
about that.
there we go. That is much better. No problem, man.
Blow you out here.
Yeah, we apologize to anybody that may have their speakers turned up there. Obviously, there's a ton in the sporting world right now due to biometric data and virtual reality innovation, and there's a lot of concern around the HIPAA portion of it all. Obviously, the NBA kind of accidentally ipso facto escorted in the biometric data stuff due to a couple players choosing to wear a couple of devices that track that stuff. My question is, how much of a legal ramification could there be when it comes to biometric data when all of these players are essentially subsequently giving their information via physicals and things like that anyway?
Well, I think they're pretty distinct categories. If you ask me, column number one that you're talking about has to do with maybe some of their application process, their physicals, their tracking stuff. And there's a set of rules that applies to those. What you're also referring to is a lot more specific. We're talking about biometric data that's being tracked real time as well. Now, if you look at overall policies, there's some states have actually enacted statutes that address this specifically. Many states have not. General HIPAA rules do apply. General privacy rules with universities apply. State laws apply. But it's a super interesting topic because we're talking about, here, let me give you the laundry list here. So we've got heart rate, blood, saliva, O2, retinal scans, facial geometry, fingerprints, fatigue indicators, movement efficiency, and other performance metrics. And that's an absolute bevy of information that can be tracked and or provided by the athlete. Now, in any of those instances where they're actually providing things such as blood or saliva, the privacy concerns, I think, are a little bit greater. But again, each league or each school itself does have rules that they're required to follow. And I think the enforcement of these things will be interesting. Like, I've not seen yet Privacy Act violations filed either on state or federal levels, but you definitely will see those incoming. But just like any other student athlete, when they enter college, these universities owe a large degree of privacy to the data they do collect.
Sure.
And how they classify these things too. And I actually, when I was kind of reviewing this as a topic for tonight, there's a lot of interesting factors on things they need to do to protect the athlete. And I'm happy to jump into those.
Yeah, go ahead. So when we talk about entering into a contract like an athlete may, obviously at the collegiate level, it's going to be a little bit different than the professional level, even in today's world of NIL. But they're basically signing over their name, image, and likeness in a contract to the professional leagues, but not necessarily their information unless it's agreed upon in the contract. Could this be something that we see an agent maybe write in to not have their client participate in stuff like this?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you could see it not only on the collegiate level, since we do have the again, we're not going to use the dirty phrase of pay for play, but we've got NIL, which is a pretty direct correlation to professional athletes. Because if you look at some of the negatives, I mean, you can just use the word privacy, and that's kind of overly broad. Let's look at some specific examples of things that could be violative of the athlete or student athlete. It's an over reliance on technology. This is the old, well, trust your gut, trust your brain, not trust the analytics, maybe, with how a person's feeling. There could be an issue with how they may use this data against or for, I guess, the athlete in contract negotiations, based off some of the different data that may indicate potential problems with heart rates, certain levels of oxygen retention, things of that nature. And then also, you really want to look at the athlete's mental health as well with some of these things. Are you even getting looked more so as another number as opposed to a human being, right? I mean, you've seen that funnel has really gotten small at the bottom, hasn't it, at this point in time? And so, if you want to fan out and not have to look at the analytics and allow a player to maybe trust their body when making some decisions instead of drawing a hard line, there could be a nice melding, right? If you're doing stuff right from a management level, if the person does, first of all, consent to allow either the information to be tracked or submitted to them for analysis, there should be a nice melding of, hey, are we going to trust the analytics? I mean, it's a baseball question, right? A little bit. Are we going to trust the analytics every time? We're going to yank this pitcher in the 8th inning, with one out here, or are we going to actually let them pitch through this batter because we think the mojo is going well?
Yeah, and it's one of those things that there's also the error of technology, right? That's going to be the conversation.
Absolutely.
A lot of these athletes may have is, okay, am I really getting this fatigue? My body doesn't feel this way, but this piece of equipment is telling me that it is.
Right.
That may knock my contract number down a little bit because I am, quote, not as reliable because I'm not getting from one side of the court to the other as fast or as less fatigue as I was, according to this piece of machine that's hooked up to me, where we've seen technology be faulty.
And you're right. And so the tracking is still, I think, fairly much in its infancy. So really, are we over relying upon data that may not be as accurate as you're just alluding to, Jimmy, over the course of time? And so and also because all these companies are going to use, like every other website or group that you belong to or contract you have online with your providers that have an AI, window at the top of the corner of it. They're going to have AI analyzing all these things and probably giving the coaches or the trainers the AI perspective on what to do and what are the hidden faults within those numbers, just because you don't have enough data to track. And my biomarker and my performance metric for a specific type of performance or an agility drill for me may show a different sign than person B over here, and you might truly be apples to oranges in those comparisons.
Where does I guess legal right might be the wrong word, but we'll just for lack of a better phrase, where does legal right come in from a standpoint of let's use the NFL as an example. The NFL comes in and says, we're going to implement this process. We're going to have these monitors that are going to give us feedback on your ability to breathe, your heart rate, etc. On top of the physical we're already giving you. Where does somebody have the ability to go, I'm not doing that, versus the NFL's ability to go, well, then you're not going to play here?
Well, it's going to be spelled out. I mean, you got the parameters that are already legally and lawfully spelled out when a person enters the NFL and they sign their engagement with the NFL to be an eligible player. Those things are spelled out to the player by their agent and by the contracts that they sign, not only with the team, but as a participant in the players union through the NFL. Those things, we'll start seeing those things negotiated here. They probably already have been. I couldn't find a single example of it, but there are certainly things that are being negotiated in the player agreements with the NFLPA as well. So it really, I'd be curious to see how things look when we jump down the road a year or two. And I think it's important that some of these things are tracked specifically for the movement and maybe the oxygen absorption, hydration rates and things like that. I mean, how many years has it been that we've tracked hydration rates for high school wrestlers now? I mean, that wasn't even a thing when I was in high school, but that's
Yeah.
been tracked for a number of years, right? And we can really make a nexus between the importance for safety, right?
Well, and biometrics has
athlete
been
protection. Yeah.
biometrics has been tracked in European soccer for almost a decade too. So it's not necessarily like this is exactly new. It's more new to the western side of the world, but it's obviously something that's been done for quite a while. And we're catching up with Bob Williams of Williams Law, criminal, personal, civil. If you're facing litigation, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com and get a free, no obligation legal consultation tonight as soon as Bob's done doing a radio interview. But when we talk about agreeing into a contract, that kind of negates any quote legal rights or common rights, right? Because if it's worded into the contract, you're going to participate in wearing this equipment because of these reasons. Once you sign that, there's no really renegotiating that because of legal rights, right?
You're basically, once you put pen to paper, you're waiving your right to challenge on those grounds, unless whatever those grounds are lie outside of the language of that contract. So yes, it's like any other employment agreement for any type of job any of the 3 or 4 of us may have. You have to follow those parameters, and if you don't, you could be subject to violation of that contract and perhaps not play and get disqualified from the league. So also when you're looking at the privacy of it, which is the other, not just the performance of it, but the privacy of it, I thought it was interesting because I was wondering, does University of Nebraska, what do they do, right? Like, what do they do to protect our athletes that we have here down in Lincoln?
Right. So it can be looked at from that angle, the protection versus the performance or lack thereof.
Right. And so you're looking to protect them for a number of reasons. The privacy is a pretty broad word, but I did a little research. And so what Nebraska does, this is the current status of how the University of Nebraska treats their privacy rules with regard to biometric data from athletes. First of all, they've got a classification tier of what that data includes. And any of the biometric data that we've talked about, specifically if you're providing any fluids for measurement, saliva or blood or oxygen measurements, those are considered high risk or sensitive data, which means they fall into a certain classification for secure storage, secure transmission when that information is being communicated from one department to another, or the lab, or back and forth. Because I think the performance lab in Lincoln, they have all that data stored in one spot there. And then they're also looking at restricted access agreements. So anybody that could potentially, as a school employee or a trainer, or maybe even other athletes, they would have to sign some type of access agreement, confidentiality agreement, to be able to actually look and use that data. And then the other big part is that there is a prohibition on comes from the no crap department, but from the sales of that data to a third party.
Right.
And then the biggest part is, at least the biggest question I had is, well, how long do they keep this data available within their own servers or for their own use for each of these athletes? And really, it's a fork in the road. There's really 2 scenarios. One of those is called use specific data, meaning I'm tracking this for this one training regimen, and I only need this data for this. And maybe we can put a data point over a chart over time. But once that's done for the period of time, whether it's for that specific finite period of time, for that maybe window of training, maybe it's a one semester or one season, or even one set within one season, or whether it's the athletes 4 or 5 years, or 6 or 7 if you're rink masked years of college, you could have that long period of tracking. That's use specific. But if it's not specifically designated as a use specific item, there is what's called a catch-all, which is a 7-year window. No data can be kept longer than 7 years in Nebraska. And there is informed consent. Obviously, the athletes know what they're signing and why they're signing, because they have to give consent to allow this to happen in the first place.
Well, and you went to the college level, and my first thought when we started discussing this was when Adrian Martinez was here and was talking to us about the rigmarole you have to go through at the NFL draft, where he said he had owners of NFL franchises coming and moving his arm for him and feeling his bicep. It's just like we already have so much access to all this data, and it just never seems to be enough. Like, think about just the entire process of the Underwear Olympics, or as it's formerly called, the NFL Combine.
It's crazy.
Everything those guys have to go through. Now they want to monitor your saliva. Like,
well,
You got players getting asked if their mom was a lady of the night, and now we're
Right.
what's in your saliva. Like, well, what's left to find out about these players?
So
Right, not much.
it's funny to me that you bring that up because
Is that the first thing you thought too?
no, well,
Oh,
it,
okay.
it brings me to the way that you just phrased that. When you say what else is there to learn, it brings me to the Christian Watson situation that happened years ago, where it was hamstring injury, and so they brought in one of like the local health officials or one of like the local hospitals that partners with the Packers, and they said, "Hey, this guy keeps having these hamstring injuries. Find out why that is." And they went, "It's because he has one hamstring that's like
Longer,
27% stronger than the other one." So they were like, if he does hamstring specific exercises on both sides and works, the left more than the right, bring him up to the same tension and the same strength, won't have the issue. So I think it could have positive uses
absolutely
at a team level, but in like a draft process,
you really
it
have,
makes me go, whoa.
You really have to wonder how much the DeMar Hamlin situation is affecting things like this too.
Sure.
Like there was a vast majority of an American audience that went, "Oh my God, did we just watch a guy die on television?"
Yep.
Yeah.
And there was probably a pretty big knee-jerk reaction to everybody going, how do we prevent that from happening again? And listen, this is a really good way to do it, but it's also going to have some other positive and negative effects to it. And that's why there's some legal ramifications to it. Bob, I got to ask you, what's the weirdest thing you've ever been asked to be somebody's lawyer?
Boy, I don't think it's on air appropriate, but I did get asked a couple of years ago. I had a client, and I don't know what era he thought we were living in, but he asked me what it was going to cost for him to pay off the judge and the prosecutor to get out of his case. And I said, well, I'm not willing to risk my law license for your DUI case,
Well,
or whatever.
If you're not looking for a backwoods, back alley lawyer, Bob Williams is the guy for you. Criminal, personal, civil. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com. Get that free, no obligation legal consultation tonight. My friend, it was good talking to you. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, guys. Go Birds.
That was
Go
a very
Huskers.
over-modulated Bob Williams. We'll catch up with you
guys.
next week. When we come back, we're going to get into Dylan Raiola. We're going to tell you exactly who Dan wants to be Nebraska's defensive coordinator and more here on the After Hours Lounge. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Pasta Amore. You looking for the best date night experience on a chilly Friday night? Go no further than Rockbrook Village. Pasta Amore has been making handmade pasta fresh every day for 50 years. If you want the best Italian experience with some pretty cheap drinks to go along with your date night experience, Pasta Amore is the place for you. Stop by Rockbrook Village with your loved one tonight and enjoy the cold while sitting on the inside with warm pasta in your belly. It's Pasta Amore.
Life is unpredictable. With seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner, you can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long. When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It's 6:42 on a college football championship Friday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Dan?
Yes.
I think I got to call an audible here, and we might need to move trash takes to 6:30.
Okay.
Because we have an epidemic in college, in sports right now.
Of cool guys doing cool guy stuff.
Of entitled idiots.
Oh, yeah.
The Sun Belt Championship game is on right now, and if you want to watch this while listening to us, I recommend it. Pretty good game right now. Obviously, some a possibility of college football playoff implications on the line because James Madison is hosting Troy. Troy was getting ready to punt out of their end zone, and fans were pelting the end zone and actually hit the kicker with a snowball. And it got me to thinking about Indiana's fans against Nebraska volleyball and just the plethora of bad fans and entitled people that think they can interject themselves into a sporting event because they bought a ticket. You are entitled to absolutely nothing. Sit down, shut up, and enjoy the game. If you want to cheer and try to make a difference and cause a false start, that's perfectly fine. Like, I am amazed, and listen, that would have been the most justifying thing in the world is JMU almost threw an interception. I cannot believe they didn't let Troy re-kick this football. The punter literally got hit by a snowball, and they had to put throwing snowballs would get you ejected from this game on the scoreboard because of it. How do you not let him re-kick that?
So I didn't know that they didn't let them re-kick it.
No, it's like a net 17-yard punt.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad official. But I mean, listen, it's not in the rule. It's probably not in the rule book, right? So what do you do in that situation?
I mean, I would think that if the kicker went up to the ref and said, "Hey, by the way, when
the
I
ref
was
went up to him
when I was about to kick that football, I got hit in the face with a snowball."
He got hit in the back.
Well, whatever. I got hit in the back with a snowball. The ref would say, "Nah, we should probably replay that down."
Yeah,
doesn't seem fair just to give, technically James Madison now with 3 points.
There's also something very ironic about the Sun Belt being played in a game with snow on the ground.
Yeah. And I don't know where Troy is, but James Madison is cold this time of year.
Troy's in Alabama.
Oh, okay. So kind of warm. Also, not what I think when I think Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah.
Where are my small Arizona and Texas schools?
I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it a lot. You know what the biggest problem in society is today?
Entitlement?
Not enough people have been punched in the face.
Yes.
Not enough people have had repercussions that physically harm them for their actions. I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, if you feel that you can run up and shove a cell phone in somebody's face because you're storming the field, or you could scream at a woman getting ready to serve a volleyball because you paid enough money to stand that close to them, or you could throw a snowball at a football player while they're actively in the middle of a football play, you deserve to be punched in the face. Listen, the student section of James Madison tonight is electric. It's fantastic, and that's great. Nothing about that should enter the field of play ever. And I hope whoever that is ends up in jail.
I mean, that even, to me, Jimmy, that also stretches further in life.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there are a lot of people who are jackwagons to waitresses.
Well,
and there are a lot of people who are just like jerks out in public and who
just be nice to people. Just be nice.
It's like, it's all those. I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna get on my soapbox for people who are just 10 years younger than I am, probably. Sure. But if you're one of those people who has a YouTube channel where you do prank videos on random strangers on the street, you're part of the problem. If you're one of those people who does those,
congratulations. That's the best take you've had since we started doing this.
If you're one of those people who's not Billy Eichner, who does those man on the street things where you're like, what's the most money you would cheat on your boyfriend for?
Oh, yeah.
You deserve to be punched in the mouth.
I don't know who Billy Eichner is.
He's the original man on the street, but he was actually funny about it because he is loud and he is mean, and he would run up to people and he would go, ma'am, for $1, name a woman.
Oh, he looks exactly like John Krasinski.
Yes, he would run up to people and yell like, name a woman. What's a better movie? Like Titanic or like the Emoji Movie, and he would have like TJ Miller or someone with him, and they'd be like Titanic. They'd be like, but he was in the Emoji Movie, and then they would run away.
Update on the Snowball Gate 2025. They just panned to the back of the end zone where that snowball came from, and now the angle may matter. The James Madison band is directly in the area where on the television angle it looked like that snowball came from. Now there is a part of the student section directly to the right of them, so that may have something to do with it. You know what? We'll just make Dylan Raiola the social media soundbite. We'll get to the quarterback situation in Lincoln when we come back. If you missed a Snowball Gate, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Can you make a snowball in your living room right now? That's a problem. That's not supposed to happen. That means your furnace is not working the way it's supposed to. If you have a 10-year-old furnace or older, Controlled Comfort wants to talk to you. You need to get the HVAC maintenance done on both your furnace and your AC so you can have peace of mind when it starts to warm up outside as well. Check out controlledcomfort.com tonight. We'll be right back. Dan Campion is going to tell us what's trending with the Nebraska quarterback situation. We come back. 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Paul Davis Restoration. Have you started to notice a crack in your foundation? That's probably going to ice over here in the next couple of months if it already hasn't done so far. You need to have your home restored to the way it was so your biggest investment can be protected. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373. Wintertime is the highest rate for dryer fire. So if you haven't had your dryer vent cleaned out in a while and you're worried about maybe the house catching on fire, or maybe it's already happened and you've had the worst day of your life, have somebody in your corner. Call 402-553-0373 and work with Paul Davis Restoration tonight.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less. My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of a bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$6:53 on a Friday night here at 1620 The Zone. Jimmy Allen, Dan Campion with you here tonight. No John Schreiner with us this evening, but you're here. That's all that matters. We're brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu. You can register for classes. Start attending Bellevue University this winter. Dan Campion, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm here. I'm awake. Enjoying some championship football. There's 4 conference championship games tonight, including James Madison hosting Troy tonight for the Fun Belt title. What do we have for the social media summit?
Matt Rule obviously takes to the podium every single week.
Oh, Matt and Lincoln, 402-951-1620. We'd love to hear from you.
And of course, this week was no different, taking to the podium and talking about the man with the scooter, Dylan
Jackson McAndrew? Oh.
No. Don't remind me about that one. Make me cry. Here is Matt Rule. Here is Matt Rule, unmuted.
Take 2. Obviously, it's still up in the air about Dylan Raiola's decision. There's been the trending picture of him at an airport with about 6 bags of luggage. I think it is very important to point out that Buford is getting ready to play for the state championship. And
Yes.
there's obviously a very good chance that it was Dylan Rolo's destination on that flight. I really think
May I real quick though?
Yeah, go ahead.
So much has been made about the 6 bags of it all.
You're gonna point out how bougie Dylan is.
Well, so that is a fair thing to point out that
Yep.
he was bringing 6 bags. I would also like to point out December 8th through the 13th. That is the last week of classes at the University of Nebraska, and fall semester final exams are the 15th to the 19th.
Yep.
So he technically has to come back to school.
Well, and
technically, the 6 bags of it all is weird, but the thing that I've been telling myself all day, all week, and I've been trying to implore to people, Dylan is a swaggy individual. 6 bags swaggy is a little bit ridiculous when
Yeah.
you're getting on a plane for just a weekend, but sometimes you gotta, as the kids would say, stunt on them.
The class thing is what I've heard a lot of this week too. I think it's really important to point out that the vast majority of athletes take as many online classes as they possibly can. So does Dylan actually need to come back to school? We obviously don't know that answer, but like possibility he probably doesn't. With that being said, I was pretty adamant about this 2 weeks ago. I'm pretty adamant about it now. I don't see a world in which Dylan Raiola comes back. I don't think it's in his best interest. I think that what he is suited for and his skill set is not necessarily what Nebraska needs. I think at a place like Ohio State, a place like Georgia, obviously 2 places he was committed to previously, the Buckeyes don't need a quarterback right now.
They famously do not.
The Georgia gig, probably not working your way in there either. I've been adamant about this for a couple of weeks now. I think Miami is a great landing spot for both Dylan and Dayton Raiola. Both have needs there. I also feel like Dylan's going to be one of those guys if he chooses to leave. If he decides that it is in his best interest to take his talents elsewhere, and I was almost made the South Beach reference, that would have been funny. But if he decides that Nebraska is not the place for him next year and it just didn't work out, I will be really intrigued what the reaction from the fan base will be to his success or lack thereof. Because there was always that and there's a lot of comparisons to be made. They both played as freshmen, etc. But there was that contingency of people that were very happy for the success that Adrian Martinez had at Kansas State. And there was always that, he's a traitor, he left us mentality. And I will say this, and this is why I'm intrigued by it, because I saw preemptive tweets from Husker fans this week. There were people that were tweeting out, for those young men that are getting ready to enter their name into the transfer portal and go elsewhere this weekend, we wish you the best of luck. I saw several text messages like that. And I really think we're starting to get to that point where this becomes the norm. Because listen, there's going to be a bunch of guys, and a few of them already have, that have thrown their name in the transfer portal that we're never going to see the field at Nebraska.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to wish those guys good luck. How do you feel if your starting quarterback decides to go? And I think it's twofold, too. Because not only does your starting quarterback choose to leave, and that hasn't happened yet, this is all hypothetical, but also you have a quarterback in this state that plays high school football that dominated Class A for 2 consecutive years.
Never heard of him.
Won a bunch of games. Won a bunch of basketball games, too. He's going to play quarterback in Tuscaloosa. And I wonder, like, Jet Tamala doesn't get a lot of talk from a local perspective other than that he was the quarterback at Millard South.
Yeah.
I wonder how, like, comparatively, right? Like
Okay.
Like, when there was the chance or people thought there was the possibility that Zane Flores was going to go to Nebraska, there was a lot of discussion around what his future would look like. Now, that Alabama offer came in for Jet came in pretty early, and then he decided pretty quickly that Pretty good program to go play for. That quarterback or that coach that's got down there knows a thing or two about quarterback. So this is going to be tenfold for a lot of reasons. Like, yeah, you got Trey Taylor coming in 2 years. You hope. What if Jet Tamala goes down to Alabama and is a 3-year starter and wins a national championship? It's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. And with the way that Alabama recruits and the way that Jet Tamala looks as a high schooler, to me,
kid's just an athlete, man.
To me, means that most of those skills and that development and that care for the game, if you've ever heard him talk, he's got a lot of care for himself and care for the game. That's just going to roll over more. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I think it will leave a bit of a sour taste in people's mouths.
We have breaking news, Dan. Can you give us a breaking news drop? According to ESPN, Penn State has come to an agreement with Matt Campbell, Iowa State head coach, as the new head coach of the Nittany Lions. That is coming across the ticker at the bottom of the screen on ESPN. It's coverage of the Sun Belt right now, so it looks like Matt Campbell will be the next head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions, and that'll wrap up the social media soundbite for us. We got a ton of buy or sell questions to get to. We come back on the other side of the break. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Recon Pest Control. We had 2 different pest control companies come out to our house over the spring. We had wasps in our backyard. Both those companies sprayed and told us that we shouldn't see any type of insects for at least 2 months. Those wasps were back the next day. Recon Pest Control came out. They sprayed our yard. We haven't seen a wasp since then. And no, it wasn't the middle of winter then. We're talking mid-May. So if you're dealing with pest issues, maybe you have a rental property and the previous tenants didn't necessarily leave it as clean, a little bit of bugs rolling around, you need to head over to reconpestservices.com tonight and take care of those pest problems this winter. We buy or sell. The other side of the break, 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. It always helps to know a guy, and Nick at AX Plumbing is your guy. He came out, him and his team, he's got a manager named Dan, too. Dan, the manager of AX Plumbing, came out last Thanksgiving for us when we had water backup in our basement. We were expecting a party of 30 that day. We didn't know if we were going to be able to host because of our plumbing problems. Dan came out on the holiday, got our plumbing issue fixed. They water jetted our entire line, and they were able to get all of our long-term plumbing issues fixed. If you're dealing with an outdated water heater, they can help with that too. All your big-time plumbing needs are fixable at axpservice.com. Head over there tonight.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8, and every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Car's incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit reconpestservices.com today and stay protected all season long.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Top of the second hour on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You'll become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your roof, your windows, your gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It's time by ourselves, Dan Campion.
To me, this is going to make it to the level of, have you seen the Michael Severe video? Have you seen the Bud Crawford video? 8 minutes on Instagram Live.
Can't play that for the social media soundbite.
No, we cannot. I wanted it to be the social media soundbite when it first came across my timeline. About 20 seconds in, I went, sorry, bud. We're just going to have to talk about it. Terrence Bud Crawford, Omaha's finest, Omaha's champion.
No. That's the world's champion. Go ahead. Sorry.
Omaha is the world.
Fair enough.
The world
is
is
our
Omaha. World. Did you say Bud is our world?
I don't remember what I said.
Bud's my world.
Bud, 402-951-1620. We'd love to hear from you.
The WBO, I believe it is.
Correct.
There are too many of them, to be fair, has stripped him of his title. Buy or sell, you don't strip the world champion, the multi-time, multi-weight class world champion, of one of his titles.
It's the WBC belt.
WBC.
Yeah. Like
I said, there are too many of them.
Dan, we might have one buy or sell question tonight, because you've had your soapbox moment tonight. I'm gonna.
No, this. When you said, do you have this question? I was like, It's not, it was number 4 on my list because I was going to bury it at the end because I knew this was your moment. Jimmy, the floor, the box.
Before you driving in your vehicle right now, call in at 402-951-1620. A, we'd love to hear from you. But B, before you call and tell me, but he's made so much money. Look how much he got paid from Netflix for the Canelo fight. Shut up and pay it. You're just a boxer. You should be. Shut up, first of all. Secondly, think about what these boxing organizations are asking, not just Terrence Crawford, who, yes, you're correct, got a astronomical amount of money for that fight against Canelo Alvarez. He was the draw, by the way. They're asking you, the fighter, to pay to wear their championship. We're in an era of name, image, and likeness where players, fighters, everybody that is an athlete is getting paid for their name, image, and likeness. Now, these organizations are asking these fighters, and it's not just the Bud Crawfords of the world, it's the other champions as well, to pay after they have earned the right to wear your belt. You want to get paid to have them walk out there with your championship on and be named as the WBO, WBC, WBA, welterweight, heavyweight, whatever champion of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting all the free pub for screwing the sport up. Boxing sucks because of you people. Now you want to be paid for it? Here's the other part, and I encourage you, get through all the swearing, because obviously Bud was very upset. Go back and listen to what Terrence Crawford had to say. The other 3 sanctioning bodies all agreed to the amount Terrence Crawford had paid. And I know somebody's going to say, well, Eddie Hearn said. Eddie Hearn and Terrence are friends, and Eddie Hearn is just throwing shade at Bud Crawford. Get out of here.
Also, when has the word of Eddie Hearn ever meant that much?
Fair enough. Hey, I like Eddie.
But nice guy, weird business practices.
But with that being said, this doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. And in case you're wondering, Bud Crawford has paid this fee every other time. Go look at the other video Bud shared today of his collections of world champions. Also, the one that matters, the unification belt, the ring belt, when you go get all 4 of them, is free. You pay nothing for it. So why the hell would he pay you for your belt when he's got the one that was given to him because of what he was able to do in the ring was just handed to him because of greatness?
It's almost like the biggest accomplishment of his entire career twice over. Three times
He's got
over.
3 of those sitting in his case.
It's almost like that one means more than the belt that you're trying to get him to pay more money for.
Do you know the dollar amount?
I don't.
It's not that they wanted to be paid. It's probably not that they wanted to be paid more than the other 3 governing bodies. They want him to pay $600,000.
No. That's too much money.
And by the way, you stripping him of this title means nothing. He's the draw. He doesn't need your belt anymore. Now, does that mean he shouldn't pay? No. You know what he should do? He should write them a check for the agreed upon amount.
Yes.
And it should be done with. And he should be, and you know what? And if I'm Bud Crawford, I'm walking out there and I'm saying, do not announce me as that champion. I don't want to be associated. I don't want to be recognized as. I don't need to be. Now, Bud's probably got 1 or 2 fights left in his belt anyway. But it's I don't want to say he should just distance himself from that from that sanctioned body or whatever, because he doesn't need, like, there should be a respect, and like obviously if there was an agreed upon, that's the thing, there was an agreed upon price. The other 3 governing bodies had a much lower agreed upon, because that's the way boxing works. And Bud Crawford is a boxing purist, and the reason this is surprising to me is not because he didn't pay it, or not because I don't think he should, or because he thinks he shouldn't, or whatever. It's, you have to understand how out of pocket this would be to have a guy like Terrence Crawford that is an absolute banner carrier for the sport, that will champion boxing to anybody that gives him a platform to speak on, is willing to do this. This is a guy. This is a guy who had now here's a guy. This is a guy that had a dude in Bob Arum, a multi-millionaire, have the audacity during a pandemic to stand on national television and say that Terrence Crawford cost him millions of dollars. Who's the number 1 draw in boxing right now?
I don't know, but his first name is Terrence and his last name is Crawford.
So
you put them together.
So you're telling me, Bob Arum, under your tutelage, Terrence Crawford was a loss. That's a you problem. You're a promoter. Your job is to promote the fights. So if you lose money, that's a you problem, bud.
Yes, it is.
No, sorry. That's a you problem, Bob. It's not a you problem, Bud. That's not Bud's problem. And listen, he was also saying that when you couldn't fill T-Mobile Arena, when you couldn't fill Allstate Arena, when you couldn't fill Madison Square Garden, you couldn't fill BMO Stadium. You got to do a little looking in the mirror. And I said this when it happened. I think the best thing that could have happened to Terrence Crawford, I think the best thing that can happen to any fighter, is you become self-promoted.
Yeah.
And Bud is going to make a lot more money than he ever would have fighting for Top Rank. I mean, look what Floyd did when he left, when he stopped being Pretty Boy Floyd and became Money Mayweather and the Money Team and all that. We're getting to we are seeing a changing of the guard to some degree too, because guys like Teofimo Lopez got away from Top Rank. We're finally starting to see it. Like, listen, this might be the first, only, and last time you hear me say this. There may be something of beauty to what Jake Paul has done, because he's given guys an avenue and shown them, no. You can go do this by yourself. You don't need the money man to do this for you. You can go out and you can get away from these sanctioned bodies or whatever and promote this on your own. Now, I still think Jake Paul's. Anyway, I don't think I can say that on air.
A rampant butthead.
I still got my thoughts about Jake Paul. But with that being said, like, I really think there's something to I really think there's something to. There's a lot of people with thoughts on this. There's something to having sanctioned bodies, and obviously you got to do drug testing and you got to have USADA and all that. I think there is need for that. But why are there so many? And why the hell do they need so much money for having their brand promoted?
Yeah, I know it's not apples to apples because technically there's not multiple leagues in this case, but this would be sort of, in my mind at least, akin to the NBA saying, LeBron, you've won that Bill Russell finals MVP trophy a couple times here. You know, need to pay us $600,000 for that one in 2020 if you want to keep it.
It's the same thing. It is apples to apples. That's the same thing. All that championship is a trophy. It's the same thing as an MVP award. You know what you don't have to do if you win the NFL MVP? Pay the NFL to have it.
I was going to do the Larry O'Brien trophy, but that doesn't make as much sense because it stays with the team and not with the individual player.
Yeah. But like that, let's double down on it. That would be like the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup, and to skate around the ice holding the cup or get your week with it, you have to pay 6 figures to be able to have it for the week and then give it back. Because, by the way, the WBC championship that Terrence Crawford technically won, he gave back to Canelo Alvarez 42 minutes after the fight was over.
Yeah.
So, in doing that, that was the cause for the $600,000 fine. He didn't want that belt anyway. He's got 3 more sitting in his house. Go watch the video. They're all there.
He's okay.
And you want to know what? You could take all 4 of those belts, throw them in a bag, shake them real hard, mix them up, and throw them on the floor, and you couldn't tell the difference.
Nope.
They don't specifically make different belts for different weight classes or different champions. It's the same exact belt.
So that is one of the things when this initially came up, I got asked about it by someone who does not care a lick about boxing, about sports in general, but they, got the news alert from WOWT.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
Shout out our local news. And they said, well, what is it? And I was like, I showed them a picture of all 4 of the belts and they went, those are for different organizations. And I went, exactly.
How many people know how many, or like when they announce at the beginning of a unification fight, WBO, WBC, how many people even know what that means? Less than 10%?
I just thought they were naming TV networks when I was younger.
Honestly, would have made more sense.
I was like, I don't even know what that could possibly be.
That's my biggest thing about all this is like there are a lot of people because of what you just said. And listen, I'm not gonna throw shade at WWE. There's a lot of clickbait out there about this because people see they see Terrence Crawford and they see stripped of a championship, so they automatically click on it. And I guess hats off to those clickbait folks. But there are a lot of people that are genuinely upset about this. You know who's not upset about it?
Terrence Crawford?
Terrence Bud Crawford. Because he's accomplished everything. He's been told by a promoter, you'll never draw money, is the biggest drawing name in the sport. He's been told you can't unify 2 weight classes. He's unified 3. He's sold out the 2 biggest venues in Las Vegas, Nevada, twice.
Yep.
He's at the point where he doesn't need to fight again. You know why he's going to? Because he's going to get 9 figures to do it. You know what he doesn't need to get that? A stupid green belt, because he's got 14 other that he can just walk out there with.
Is that the green one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He can walk out. Terrence Crawford, this is why he doesn't. I almost said the S word. This is why he doesn't give a rip. He can walk out there with 3 ring belts, one on his shoulder, one around his waist. And there isn't another soul on the planet that has ever existed that can do that. Take your belt. Terrence, don't pay him a dime. This has been, if you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page. That was buy or sell. I forgot
I was going to say, it's buy or sell.
Yeah, if you missed buy or sell tonight, want to hear my rant about the WBA, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It is brought to you by Controlled Comfort. You'll never have to rant about your thermostat if you have a maintenance appointment set up with Controlled Comfort. They'll come out and they'll give you peace of mind about your furnace and your AC all year long. You start to notice it's getting a little cold in your house? Is your furnace not giving you the output it used to? You need to get a hold of Controlled Comfort tonight. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Set up a maintenance appointment tonight. We're going to talk about the NFL when we come back. 60-20 zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Boys Town Ear, Nose, and Throat Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Well, it feels pretty nice outside, at least better than we've been the past couple days. Highs on Friday have been in the mid and low 40s. This evening will cool off into the 30s and overnight into the lower 20s. Your Saturday's an interesting day. It will start off mostly dry, but in the afternoon, a rain-snow mix. Higher chances for snow accumulation north and east of Omaha with high temperatures in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less. Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$724 on a Friday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, roof, gutters, your siding. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. Dan, I got some bad news.
What could that possibly be?
We're more than halfway through the NFL season, and it's a sad day. It's always a good day when the Dallas Cowboys lose, as they did last night to the Detroit Lions. But that brings us up to where we are in the NFL season. And we're at the point where there's a lot of people getting hurt because it's cold outside. We're also at the point where there's teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs. That includes the Tennessee Titans, the Las Vegas Raiders, who I picked to possibly contend for an AFC wildcard this year. That didn't happen. And the New York Football Giants, the New Orleans Saints, and the Arizona Cardinals, who have shut down their quarterback Kyler Murray for the year because of allegedly a foot injury, but it's probably because they suck. They weren't going to accomplish anything, and they just didn't want him to get even more hurt.
Also, shout out to HBO's Hard Knocks. You guys made a decision this year with the Eagles and the Cowboys, and then the Commanders and the Giants.
Yeah.
They were expecting that division to turn out very different.
I want to point out that the other two yahoos on this radio show, not named Jimmy Allen, thought that was a good idea. And I said, well, what if half the division sucks? And you both went, you got Jackson Dart and Jaden Daniels, and the Eagles just won the Super Bowl, and it's always the Cowboys. You both thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a horrible idea to the whole division.
And who is the one with slip in his wallet right now that says Jaden Daniels for MVP?
Fair enough. Touche. I'll allow it. Is the most surprising team... Okay, so I think you can look at this two different ways. I think probably the most surprising team in the NFL is probably the New England Patriots, right?
Yes.
Mike Vrabel,
very much so.
But very much so? Okay, because hear me out.
Who
would you put number 2 in this category? Can I give you a team? Is it the Carolina Panthers? The Carolina Panthers are currently tied for their division lead.
Oh.
They have won 7 games this season, all of which they were the underdog according to Las Vegas.
Yes.
You remember when we all left Bryce Young in a ditch, left for dead, said it was a horrible pick and it was never going to work out? Buddy, I watched the majority of that Rams game on Sunday because your boy had the Panthers plus 10. You wish he would have moneylined them. He made some throws, and listen, I know Heisman Trophy winner in Alabama, blah, blah. He made some big throws against that Rams secondary and looked the part. I think he's going to be just fine. The team that I would throw in as an honorable mention / third place, it's got to be the Chicago Bears, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So if I can, take the hater glasses off for a moment, I'm actually physically sick to my stomach
because Ben Johnson might be that dude.
That Ben Johnson actually understood how to get it together, and that the convincing fashion in which they beat the Eagles on Friday of that Thanksgiving week, not give me a lot of confidence for what is going to happen this weekend when Caleb Williams and the Bears come up to Lambeau Field.
How are you feeling if you're a Lions fan today? You know what I mean? You obviously just beat the Cowboys.
You're feeling better, but you're not feeling great because that whole run DMT or whatever thing that they had going on there for a hot second, it hasn't been clicking. That's been the problem with Detroit, I think, so far this year.
Feels like there's a miss with that offense, and obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown being hurt, it doesn't help.
Yeah, it's like they have one or the other, where it used to be like, oh, they're keying in on Jameson Williams. We're going to the running backs. We're going to Sonic and Knuckles. Oh, they're keying in on the running attack. All right, Jameson Williams, time for you to do your thing.
Matt Campbell to Penn State was clearly a done deal for a while.
Did they just clack it?
Iowa State already has their new head coach.
No. How?
Can we get some breaking news, Dan? I'm going to do some research here. There's no way. This is all scrolling across ESPN right now as we're watching the Sun Belt Championship in studio. But according to ESPN, Matt Campbell and Penn State have agreed to an 8-year contract to make him the new head coach at Happy Valley. Washington State head coach Jimmy Rogers is set to replace Matt Campbell as the head coach in Ames.
Official as of 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, we don't even got to worry about the reports for it hasn't been officially announced anywhere. I can't find it anywhere else other than ESPN that Matt Campbell's the new head coach at Penn State. But Iowa State has already tweeted out a graphic that Jimmy Rogers is the new head football coach for the Cyclones. So, you know what probably happened? They probably approached Matt Campbell, they being Penn State, and he said no, unless we get A, B, or C put in the contract. And Penn State already pulled the trigger and said, we'll just make it happen. And they probably just finally inked it today. That's insane. Listen, this has been maybe the craziest coaching carousel ever. Probably so. The fact that you get because I'm looking at Twitter right now, and I'm just seeing the retweets from ESPN. There's nobody else confirming the Matt Campbell to Penn State thing other than people retweeting ESPN. Like, even on 7 is saying Penn State is working on finalizing a day with Iowa State head coach. But there's confirmation about the Jimmy Rogers stuff, so you can throw the speculation out the window. That's insane to me. That took like 5 minutes. Good work from the folks at Ames, but back to the NFL discussion for a minute. Sorry, that just blew me away. That was already done.
Oh, the fact that it was so quick.
But
where did that come from?
The team that I have the most questions about for the remainder of the NFL season. How you feeling about the darling of the first half of the season? You still feel great about the Indianapolis Colts? Because I sure don't. They've lost 2 straight. An embarrassing loss to the Chiefs that they shouldn't have lost. They lost the Texans. And by the way, the Jaguars look like they might be I don't think they're going to be a contender for the AFC Championship. They might be a contender for the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like they can get it together. Like they have the sum of the parts to make a good season. It's just if they can keep it rolling. I'm worried that this Daniel Jones thing is going to be a bit of a flash in the pan because you kind of know what this team is going to be.
Right.
It's going to be
a ceiling.
Yeah, it's some short passes, a couple of long balls here and there during the game, but then it's mostly going to be handing it off to JT all game long. And if you can stop Jonathan Taylor, you can basically put their offense into the breaks.
They are still throwing snowballs in this Sunbelt game, by the way. And it is 100% coming from the band.
Number 89 on Troy is not happy.
Yeah, he wants the smoke right now. Let me ask you this question. Why does it feel like everybody and nobody is good in the AFC North?
Probably because that's the truth.
You have Lamar Jackson. You have Joe Burrow healthy. Cleveland seems like Shador's their future. Pittsburgh still got Tomlin and Rodgers.
Well, it's weird.
But do you feel great about anything I just said?
No, because there are already people like in and around that Pittsburgh organization, legends of the team that are like, it's time to get rid of Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
it
by the
seems
way,
like
Terry Bradshaw, shut up.
Yeah, it seems like every time one of those teams pulls ahead, unless you're the Browns in a sense,
they're not pulling ahead.
They just kind of just drop off the map the next week.
Yeah.
It's like highest of highs, lowest of lows for each one of these teams. I think Joe Burrow being back is going to help Cincinnati more than anything.
I think they win the division.
Amongst those other teams, the Ravens.
What are they? Do they know? Because it does like talk about firing Mike Tomlin. John Harbaugh doesn't win that division this year, and that might not be enough. He might be on the outs, man. I think that's a horrible idea. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
but I think that's what's going to happen.
That team is just the headache
Jekyll
of all
and Hyde.
headaches.
Jekyll and Hyde. They have no idea who they are.
Well, and it's because every single week it's you go, hey, what should we do? We don't have Lamar Jackson. Should we just keep throwing the ball to our receivers and to our tight ends? Mark Andrews is pretty good. You can just ignore him. Isaiah Likely's pretty good. Why don't we just ignore him? And oh yeah, there's this guy like standing behind the quarterback who's wearing 22.
Hey,
he's really menacing. I think we should ignore him completely every week.
But there's something wrong with Derrick Henry. I think he's hurt.
He's old, but he's still a human truck stick.
I know, but I think he's hurt. Like I think there's something like actually wrong with him.
Oh,
I just don't think they're like telling us about.
Yeah, maybe.
I mentioned him a minute ago, but you got to move on from Kyler Murray, right? If you're Arizona.
Yeah, the experiment has failed.
Well, it's twofold. Like, it didn't work with Cliff Kingsbury. You gave him enough rope to see if he was the guy you drafted. He's clearly not, at least in your system. Now, we've seen quarterbacks go other places and have success for franchises that aren't perennial graveyards for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Which Arizona has been outside of that one Kurt Warner run. I just don't see any way you can run it back with him. I just don't.
I think the only way that you run it back with Kyler Murray is if you can do the one thing to actually recreate that Kurt Warner run and get him someone Larry Fitzgerald-esque.
Yeah. Listen,
which
Jacoby Brissett's still throwing for 2,000 yards and 13 touchdowns.
To give them their little bit of due in a sense, and also to kind of give the little poke, maybe it is actually time to get rid of Kyler Murray. You tried that. His name was DeAndre Hopkins. Did not work.
True.
It was bad. And he actually requested to leave.
Yeah, I just feel bad for like Buda Baker and that defense. That defense is pretty good.
They are, yes.
How you feeling about your investment as an owner of the Green Bay Packers?
Good. I liked what I saw on Thanksgiving.
I bet you did.
Yeah, it made me happy the way that they were able to sort of handle some of the pressure.
You guys kind of got Brian Daboll fired.
We did. That's also, it's just, so here's the kind of weird thing about the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions as like a matchup.
That the owner of their franchise is also a radio producer?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That is part of it. Actually, two of them are.
Fair. Good
Joey
call.
Colbert.
Yeah.
The boy.
Can we call him that anymore? He's kind of a man now.
He is a man. He's got a mustache.
And a sweet leather jacket.
When the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers face off against each other every single year, if
famously twice
the Lions start scoring a ton, Green Bay just finds a way to fall off on the back end and not understand how to actually do anything about it.
How'd you feel in that third quarter, Dan?
Tight, very tight.
Bet you did.
I was extremely glad that the turkey was in the oven so that I could step out onto the porch many times and scream into the ether. I apologize to anyone who is on 84th Street.
Sometimes it's a necessity.
But I feel good. This weekend, surprisingly, is going to be like the real test because the NFL schedule makers are benevolent gods. And they said, we're going to give you two.
Also Joey Colbert, by the way.
Yeah. We're going to give you 2 Chicago Bears games to end the season, which to me is perfectly fine because it's our probably greatest rival and will be the best test for us this season.
They still suck?
They do. They beat the Eagles by a decent amount, but the Eagles still scored on them.
Yep.
And when we played the Eagles, it was like 13-7.
Locked up the case. That game's in Green Bay too.
Yes, it is. How do you feel about your 49ers?
Listen, I mean,
your quarterback's doing the Dougie.
Hey, white guys got moves too. Or whatever George Kittle said.
God forbid a white man get a little motion.
Yep, there you go.
Been saying that all week.
I'd appreciate if my tight end would stop talking crap about my college team. Though. That'd be nice. I like that we have the bye week where it comes in at. Obviously, I feel really good about winning 4 of the last 5. Don't really love that Rams lost the way it went, but it kind of feels like they figured some stuff out in the process. Now it helps they've played the Panthers, the Cardinals, and the Browns in that stretch too. By the way, we finished with the Titans, the Colts, and the Bears. I think they're going to win the NFC North, or the NFC West, because of what I just said, strictly based on the schedule that they finish out with, because they're tied for first right now, and they basically, if they win out, they win basically. And I think they can lose to the Bears and still win the NFC West. I think the Super Bowl window for this year has closed just because of the injuries on defense. I love that my running back's healthy. I love that my tight end's healthy because arguably the 2 best in the game.
Yes, arguably.
But with that being said, like just the defense is left so much to be desired. Listen, they played really well without Fred Warner and without Jacob Robinson and without Taron Jackson and without Nick Bosa and right. So you've got a quarterback, you've got the best running back in football, you've got arguably one of the best head coaches, if not the best head coach in football, to make a run through the playoffs. It just doesn't feel like San Francisco's year. With that being said, there's been a lot of years that have felt like San Francisco's years, and they've they've come up short. So who knows? The fact that we're counting them out, essentially, this may be the year that they do it.
Yeah, and to be fair, you remember the year that was not San Francisco's year? And then it was,
Brock Purdy got into a Super Bowl.
Hey, guys, we're going to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is weird.
With a one-armed quarterback.
Remember this guy who was picked 199 or whatever in the draft?
That's last.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's going to be the one to get us there.
Speaking of getting there, we're going to talk about the college football playoff. We'll get you up there. What's going on in the Sun Belt Championship as well, and more when we come back. If you missed this segment on our NFL recap, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. It is the holiday season. If you got a special guy in your life, maybe it's your father-in-law, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your brother, whoever it may be, you need to get them something nice for Christmas. Stop getting them old socks that they're never going to wear. Don't get them that wallet with the Velcro on it. Get them something nice from Jerry Ryan. If they're a big Jays fan, you get them geared up for basketball season. Nice Johnny O Polo. I currently have 3 in my rotation. You're not going to regret getting a Johnny O Polo from Jerry Ryan Clothing Sports, where they stretch, they don't fade in the wash, and they will always look pristine no matter when you bought it. Buy them a new one for Christmas at Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78 in Dodge. They've been dressing Blue Jays and Omaha for over 50 years. You know what today is? It's Friday. You know what that means tomorrow is? It's Saturday, and it's brunch time. Stop by at Railcar, 144th in Blondo. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for our friends at Railcar. You need to get out and try the chilaquiles. What are those? That means they're breakfast nachos. They're fantastic. They also, tonight, have the primetime prime rib deal where you can stop out and get 2 prime ribs, the price of 1.5. Stop out at Railcar, 144th in Blondo. Tell them After Hours sent you.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Football season is in full swing, and however you like to get in on the action, you can do it on Underdog right now in Nebraska. This season, you can make team picks and player picks. Just download the app, sign up, and you'll get $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Using Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite team will win, or if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Plus, with Underdog's ultra-fast payouts, you can get your profits in a snap. Download that app today and use promo code 1620TheZone to score $100 in bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Player picks, team picks, all on Underdog.
Crypto.com predictions powered by Underdog Predict. Trading derivatives involves risk and may not be appropriate for all. For more information, visit nadex.com/rules and underdogfantasy.com/rules. For Crypto.com predictions, the term pick refers to a product traded on CDNA. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It's 7:46 on a Friday night here on 1620 The Zone. Dan, can I tell you why I continue to give the time, by the way?
Because we're so off the clock?
No, whenever Michael Severe was in here and like gave me flack for giving the time, makes me just want to do it even more now.
Also, I just figured you were proving to people that you understood how numbers work.
Also, that I can read. Speaking of reading, we're brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Head over to pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Tonight, Steve Sipple
Good read.
of Husker Online is reporting that Toledo DC Vince Cares is in Lincoln to interview for the Nebraska DC job this week, and that's gonna raise a lot of eyebrows and maybe make a few people mad, because there's a large contingency of not only people in Lincoln and in the state of Nebraska, but really throughout the Big Ten footprint, that every time a defensive position or maybe even a head coaching job opens up, they scream at the top of their lungs, "What about Jim Leonhard?
What about him?"
Obviously with the Denver Broncos, formerly of the Wisconsin Badgers, and knows a thing or two about Big Ten football. But I caution people every time that a job comes open and somebody doesn't get that job. Is there something wrong with that person? Is there something wrong with Jim Leonhard? That is my question. Why has Jim Leonhard been heralded for so long, so highly? And I think he's a great defensive mind, and I think his body of work speaks for itself. He's been very vocal and very adamant that he would like to be a head coach someday. Why has that opportunity never presented itself? And if he's the problem in that situation, you really want him on your sideline? And listen, this is all speculation.
Hypothetically, if it's a problem with him, yes, I would 10-foot pole keep him away.
Kind of feels like that's the case, right?
But it feels weird for someone of Jim Leonhard's stature within the game of football to not get those phone calls.
Right? Something's wrong.
It feels
it may not be him. I don't want to slander the good name of Jim Leonhard.
Especially because
kind of feels like it's him.
If you're the defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos right now,
who are very good,
who are famously 10-2, very good.
Yeah, specifically the defense I was talking.
And that's not getting you a call to be a head coach in at minimum college football.
And that's what I was just
Something's
about to say.
weird.
The only thing that makes the math make sense is if he wants to stay in the professional ranks.
Shout out Tennessee, you're looking for one.
Well, I think that job has already been filled by a gentleman in Austin, Texas, but that's neither here nor there. Which I don't love, by the way. But
he's going to punch a security guard. Keep that in mind.
I just wonder.
He won't. That's a lie.
There's got to be a little there's a possibility that everything we just said is true also, right? There could be a personality differentiality, but there also could be the fact that he maybe just wants to be a head coach eventually, and he's not going to take another defensive coordinator job anywhere else because he's already got an NFL DC job, and he's doing pretty well and probably likes the guy he works for in Sean Payton. So there could be some truths to all of that.
Well, and there is also something to the kind of arc of someone's like career in coaching,
And like coaching against Wisconsin eventually type thing. Is that what you're trying to say?
more there are people who really enjoy the getting up to a certain point, like a DC or OC,
and that's good enough
and
for
being
them?
really good at that,
Yeah.
and staying right there and kind of being the left hand, right hand kind of guy within an organization, and being like, I have full control because I know how to do it.
Think about the roller
And then there
coaster
are
of
some
Brent-
guys who want to go all the way up.
Think about Brent Venables and the roller coaster of the
not coach of the year candidate.
But think about that for a minute too. Like
that's
about
the joke I'm making, because he
think
should
about
be.
every time a head coaching job opened up, and Brent Venables wasn't even discussed.
Yeah,
probably because he went, "No thanks, I'm good. We got this thing rolling in Clemson, South Carolina."
Yeah,
until he found the right fit for him, and now it still may not work out in Norman. Jury's still out. I mean, obviously this year has done a lot for the positive side of things. But
I was going to say the
think about
jury's-
where he was at the end of last year. So there's
okay.
There's still a little bit of timeline there, right? So it'll be interesting to see how it works out. But like Jim Leonhard has also been around the Wisconsin program enough for a lot of turnover after success.
Yeah.
To probably realize that he probably wants to find somewhere that's a good fit long term for him too. There's also probably some of that to it as well. What I don't understand, like let's say that you do end up hiring a guy that's a defensive coordinator at Toledo. And Toledo had a really good year defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the last 3 head coaches at Nebraska and their lack of want to go out and get somebody that understands the conference as a whole and knows how to navigate the Big Ten waters. Now, I think this is the one hire where I think it's okay to maybe not go get that guy because of the changes in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Changes at Penn State kind of feels like the change in Iowa City is just right around the corner. Eventually, it's not like Kirk's got to retire eventually, right? I mean, it looks a whole lot different.
I'm going to say, according to Kirk Ferentz, not in the near future.
Looks a whole lot different in Bloomington, Indiana these days. You've got 4 teams to the West Coast. So, like, if this hire makes sense to maybe not go get the long-term Big Ten guy. Okay. But if you take Matt Rule at his word, which I know a lot of people do, and talking about how much he's learned from Coach Ferentz about taking the side of the field versus the ball, or vice versa, and playing to the weather versus diverting to the second half, or accepting the football and using the elements to your advantage and things like that, which Kirk Ferentz does maybe better than anybody, and Matt Rule has allegedly studied from. You wouldn't know that after Black Friday, but with that being said, like the lack of let's go get, and Matt Rule's a Big Ten guy.
Yeah,
with the Penn State, he coached under Joe Paterno, and to not go out and get somebody that also helps you understand the conference because of how long you've been removed from it has really bothered me up until this point. And I know there's a lot of people out there that want Mike Eckler to get the defensive coordinator job. And back to kind of the Jim Leonhard conversation. Every toolbox needs a hammer, a saw, a tape measure. You need your own individual pieces, right? And I think Mike Eckler is really good at being a special teams coordinator. He's found his niche because he can be unapologetically Mike Eckler. Now, when you go back to his time under Bo Pelini, when he was the linebackers coach and co-defensive coordinator, you could kind of see the sidelines, and obviously the head coach at the time matters, but you could see how Mike Eckler being Mike Eckler kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. Now, listen, that's a personality. Mike Eckler is just unapologetically him, and that's got its own values.
Yeah, well, and it's still sort of there.
Yeah.
a little bit
he
with
could just be there in the same role.
Matt
You got a whole
Rule.
offensive coordinator as a tight ends coach right now.
Yeah, well, Matt Rule made the comment midway through the season when we saw the video of Mike Eckler getting real hyped up.
Yeah.
And like
Well,
chest
Matt Rule's
bumping
talked
him and
about
like
it. Matt Rule's talked about it. He told him not to
jabbing
touch
him, and he's like, hey man, you got to settle down, Mike.
Now, put that in the confines of a defensive coordinator role, and I think that becomes a lot. So I will understand. Do I think Mike Eckler would absolutely excel in that role? I do. But we all know somebody that has been really good at their job that's been impossible to sit in an office with for 8 hours a day, right? Like, you could be really good at your job. Do I want to work with you?
Maybe not. Yeah.
You know, there's always that dynamic of it as well. Hey, listen, we appreciate everybody that joined us tonight on the After Hours Lounge. If you missed any of it, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. You can let us know who you think Nebraska's defensive coordinator should be there as well. Thank you to everybody that joined us in the night shift tonight as well. If you missed any of the show, it was brought to you by Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber is the official internet, TV, and mobile provider of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. From the roar of game day echoing across the sea of red that covers the state, Allo Fiber is connecting Husker fans from Omaha all the way out to Scottsbluff. That's right. If you are in the Omaha area and you're wondering if Allo Fiber is available in your neighborhood, you check it out at allofiber.com/Husker Radio tonight. For Dan Campinen, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Bartender Day, everybody.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen, where you get to watch the magic happen, to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
It's cold weather season, and when it gets cold outside, pests want to come inside. From spiders to rodents, now is the time to prep your home for the winter months. An end-of-the-year pest control checkup can keep mice out of your walls, spiders out of your corners, and can even prevent the occasional squirrel or raccoon from trying to make themselves at home. Don't let unwanted guests, besides your in-laws, crash your holidays. Visit ReconPestServices.com today and stay protected all season long.
Hello there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. And yes, time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, what a great time to be enjoying the great outdoors of Nebraska as these days get shorter and cooler, leaves start changing color and dropping. So much to do: hunting, hiking, biking, camping, fishing, wildlife watching, and so much more. Get ideas for you and your family to step outside on the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. That's outdoornebraska.gov, and we hope to see you out there. You know, it's time for hunting here in the Heartland, and before you go out, remember that safety needs to be your number one priority. Remind yourself to be doubly sure of that target in the background before you even aim. And in a moment, ask yourself, is that a legitimate target? Is the bullet flight path clear? And what am I going to hit if I miss my shot? You be safe out there. I'm Greg Wagner with Nebraska Game and Parks.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.